Located in the heart of the quaint town of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, Oakwood Nursing Home was a beacon of hope for seniors, a place where they could spend their final years in comfort and dignity. Families from across the region entrusted their beloved relatives to this organization, believing they would be cared for here with the utmost compassion and respect. But beneath the impeccable facade was a grim and disturbing reality that shattered the community's faith and forever changed the way we think about the treatment of the elderly. It all started with a routine inspection by the State Department of Health. What the inspectors discovered during that fateful visit would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The conditions inside Oakwood were simply appalling. Residents were found lying in their own feces, malnourished and dehydrated, their bodies disfigured by bed sores so bad that their bones were visible. Many were left unattended for hours on end, their cries for help deafening as overburdened and understaffed caregivers struggled to cope. But the most disturbing discovery was the signs of physical abuse. Bruises and broken bones were found on the bodies of several residents, the result of apparently violent altercations with staff. One elderly woman, Martha Simmons, had been punched several times in the face, resulting in a broken jaw and disfigured face. As the investigation deepened, a picture of neglect and abuse spanning several years began to emerge. Former staff members told stories of horror and despair, of witnessing systematic abuse of residents. They spoke of an indifference in which the elderly were perceived as nothing more than a burden to be constantly endured. One former nurse, Emily Reeves, tearfully recounted how she caught a colleague forcibly pushing a bedridden resident back into his bed, causing him to scream hysterically. They didn't see these people as individuals, she said, her voice shaking with emotion. To them, it was just numbers, a paycheck. The well-being of the residents didn't matter. The revelations proved utterly devastating to the families who had entrusted Oakwood Nursing Home with the care of their loved ones. Their faith in the system was shattered and replaced with feelings of betrayal and deep pain because of the horrors their loved ones had endured. The ensuing legal battle was bitter and protracted. Lawsuits were filed and nursing home owners were forced to answer for their misdeeds. But the scars left by their survivors will never fully heal. As a result, Oakwood was closed and its license revoked. The once respected facility became a prime example of the horrors that can happen when defenseless people are entrusted to the care and concern of those who care more about profit than the well-being of their patients. As the community dealt with the aftermath of what had happened, there was a sense of anger and a thirst for justice in the air. How could such atrocities be allowed to happen right under their noses? The realization that people entrusted with the care of the elderly had betrayed that sacred trust was a bitter pill to swallow. The Oakwood story serves as a grim reminder of the importance of vigilance and responsibility when it comes to the treatment of the elderly. It is a call to action, urging us to demand more responsible behavior so that our loved ones are not subjected to the same cruel fate. As we reflect on this tragedy, let us remember the faces of those affected, the voices that have been silenced. Let us honor their memory to create a world where seniors are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. A world where the nightmares of Oakwood can never happen again. In the end, the horrors of Oakwood were a tragic testament to the fragility of human nature and the importance of protecting the most vulnerable among us. This story should never be forgotten. It is a painful lesson that should cause us to be even more vigilant in our quest for more just and compassionate treatment of our loved ones.